Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Tay.
Welcome to the Sam and Tay's Fantasy Football Podcast. This week we will talk about Week 7, and Tay, I'm feeling pretty good. Three wins in a row for me now.
I know. Congratulations, man. That's a nice feat that you came back 0-4, starting jumping back. You're back to 3 wins, and hopefully you can rub off a little Chris there, because Chris still on a losing streak. He's 1-6. I don't even know if he's. I guess he's still in the playoff hunt.
I think it's
everybody's 3-4.
Yeah. A lot of 3 and 4. I mean, even though I won 3 straight, a few people lost 4 straight. So 2
That could
people.
happen.
Yeah, Scott lost 4 straight, and looks like Sin lost 4 straight too.
Because Sensor has the jinx on him.
Oh man, Sin, sorry, dude. We didn't think the jinx would last this long.
Yeah. Looks like it's gonna be all season.
That sucks. I mean, he did play against me though. I mean, come on, it's gonna happen. And I dominated. Dang, Sin. But we'll get back to that match. Now, if we let's look at the standings here, and of course, office linebacker is still in number 1. He barely won this week. We'll talk about that matchup too. So it wasn't like a good win this week. And then Hong just jumped up. He's in second place.
And he's been scoring a lot of points too. So I guess you really discredit his winning, because he's been putting up a lot of majority of his points, and I think a lot of leagues that have Demarius and Andre Ellington, I think everybody's kind of blown up in points last couple of weeks. So
Yep.
Yes.
He has the high score overall too. So it's a legit second place, definitely. I mean, he could be first. I was hoping. I'm cheating, looking to see who he plays next week. Oh, he plays you next week.
He plays me next week. Yeah, you don't have to cheat. You have to just ask. I already know who he's playing.
I was wondering if he was going to play offensive linebackers, but no.
Okay.
No.
No.
But offensive linebacker is first, Wang in second, and Ving's in third. Our jinx seems to be working for Sin, but not Ving. Ving.
I think it's still on. I mean, we never know. I mean, he did put up decent points this week, though, right? I mean, put up 120. So I mean, it wasn't bad. He has a decent team still.
Yeah, he has a decent team.
So hopefully we can. I still think he's gonna win the whole thing. I mean, I bet.
No. I don't think he's gonna win the whole thing anymore. I think Hong is gonna win the whole thing.
Oh man, you might be right.
Dude, I think Hong's gonna win the whole thing. Look, man.
No, I think they're both gonna be in the final. I think they should.
Yes.
It's gonna be a tie, so they have to split the pot. That's just what's gonna happen.
Yes. So Hong and Ving in the finals, dude. That's it right there, dude. If I had to put $1 million on it right now, it's gonna be them two right there. You know what I mean?
Vegas has the odds, and I think their odds are like 1 to 1 odds. I mean, it's like you can't get any better than that.
Hong and Ving has the 2 best teams, ever. In the fantasy league history, So and then bringing down the rear is Chris and Sin, and again, Sin and loses 4 straight. Scott also lost 4 straight too. So Scott needs to do something.
Well, I mean, they both started off 3-0 in the year, and they both now have 3-4. So it's kind of sad, because you're right with them.
Coming back. That's why you guys got to hit those waiver wires. You never know. Jeff here, he's all feeling sorry for himself about his backfield, but Jeff, he has to hit those waiver wires. I mean, I'm picking up running backs left and right every week just to, and then you get hit and miss. You know what I mean? But Jeff's got to do that.
Well, he's got you now. He's got the first pick. He's got the first priority in the waiver wire. So whoever he wants, he should be able to get. I mean,
there you go, Jeff.
his adjustments and doing the right thing. So
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Let's go over to the first matchup, me versus Sin, and man, this was pretty ugly on Sin's part here. Manning actually got his projected, 29, .37 projected points, but and I'm surprised Stafford still puts up the number without Calvin Johnson, but.
Well, and I think he got lucky in that game though, because that game was nothing until wasn't it till the fourth quarter? He threw a 70-yard pass to Golden Tate. And then he won it at the very end with another short pass, because otherwise Stafford didn't do anything for 3 quarters. I mean, New Orleans actually had him bottled up for 3 quarters, and then finally he blew up at the end. So Stafford really, he's still not. I don't think he's still the Stafford. I think he needs Calvin still. I mean, otherwise without Calvin, I think he's not going to put up. He's going to put up semi-decent numbers, but nothing spectacular, I think. So, because I think a lot of it, their defense is so good this year, Detroit's defense, that I think they can rely on their defense a lot more now.
Yeah, and Marshawn Lynch didn't do much for Sin. I mean, he did okay, but he didn't do much for Sin. I mean, it's just like my Anton Smith from Atlanta. He did well the week before, but then nothing this week. That's what happens. I was expecting Denver to give me more points than that. Held them to 17 points. Of course, it was garbage time. That last touchdown they scored was garbage time. It was, backup quarterback. That threw that.
And I'm pretty sure Denver had their backups too in the defense, so they kind of gave it up at that point.
Yeah, and T.Y. Hilton is he's been on a hot streak for me too.
Well, he's going to maintain that hot streak because Wayne's out for 2 to 3 weeks now.
Oh wow!
He's got an elbow injury, so I think they said 1, 2, 3 weeks, something like that. So he might be the top guy for Indianapolis for the next couple of weeks anyway. So and he's been the top guy even with Wayne in there right now. So I don't think it matters at this point.
Yeah, and then also Greg Olson's been blowing up for me too these last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, and who would have thunk it too? Greg Olson's in our league, he's the top scoring quarterback. Actually, he's higher than Julius Thomas, and Julius Thomas has all the touchdowns.
Oh, highest scoring tight end.
He is. He's the highest scoring tight end in this league. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. You would have never thunk it, but he's the highest scoring one. And,
actually, I thought it. That's why I drafted him.
That's why you drafted him.
That's why I drafted him.
You had him higher than Julius Thomas in the pre-draft ranking.
But Sin. Tay, can we lift the jinx from Sin or what, dude?
No. Let's let you have a 1-game lead first, because you want that, right?
Gotcha. Yeah. Because I am.
You're tied with them, and let's just leave it one more week, and then we'll see what happens next week. If he loses again, and I will feel bad for the guy, and if he wins, we can lift the jinx next week on the next podcast. So Sin, I'm sorry, one more week, and then
Yeah. Even if he would have started Shane Vereen, I still would have won. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean his team just got walloped. And we were saying that he's got the 2 best running backs with Lynch and Bernard. They were playing so well, and then they don't do anything. So I mean he's kind of hurting now, and he still has 3 good running backs, but at this point he's gonna have to figure out what he wants to do with his wide receivers, because like I said, Wayne's out. And all his other ones are kind of just, I think, just middle of the line receivers. So I don't really know what he's going to do with his team right now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can't have superstars all throughout the team, but he definitely has to do something with those receivers. Hit the waiver wires, man.
Yeah, hit the waiver wires. I mean, he's going to have to do something and see if he can maybe pick up a win and try to unjinx his jinx. But like I said, we're not going to lift it next week. So
no, not yet, Sin. Sorry, Sin. Not yet. But all right, cool. Let's go to the next matchup. Kevin versus Terry, Oreos versus Office Linebacker. Now, Kevin just lost by. Is that less than 2 points? Oh, it's 2.2.
It's 2.24. So
2.24.
We never know. Terry's probably safe, but you know what? I think Kevin should get a stat correction, because he's been he's messed up on last twice already this year. So.
Oh, but man, 2.24 points, that's a lot to make up. I mean, seriously.
It is.
I mean, if it was less than 1 point, maybe. I don't know.
That'd be like a sack, you know, or 2 sacks. I mean, maybe they'll take away, you know, 3 sacks or, you know, or give sacks to New England. You know, you never know. It could happen.
Not to hate on Terry, but he is 6-1. I wouldn't mind seeing him lose. You know what I mean? This matchups. I mean, so if they autocorrect, you know what I mean, you know, I'm almost kind of cheering for Kevin to win this one, just because you know Terry's 6-1. You know, I don't want him that far away from all the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I agree. And honestly, Terry's team's not bad, but I don't think he's I don't. When I look at the team, it doesn't seem like it's one of the top teams in the league.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he's winning. He's got a fair amount of scoring, but he doesn't usually blow it out of the roof with the high scoring teams. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you see his point totals, I mean, Wang definitely has the better team. You know what I mean? Out of all of us. So I'm not just putting down Terry. I'm putting down all of us. I mean, Wang definitely.
Oh yeah.
So that's like I said. I think Wang's going to win the whole thing. You know, wink. Can you see me winking? I think Wang's going to win the whole thing. You know?
Well, him and Ving,
man. I know Ving, Mr. Autodraft. You know.
Yeah, they're going to share the trophy this year somehow. First time ever.
You know, Kevin, I don't know what you want to do about Jake Cutler. That guy has been on a downhill so far. You know, even Brandon Marshall is calling him out now. You know what I mean? His own quarterback.
Yeah.
But you know, you gotta take what Brandon Marshall say with a grain of salt, because he has that personality disorder. So it's like, you know, he can say some things like, you know, I mean, Jay Cutler's a decent QB. It's just I don't know, dude. I don't know. Do they have a bad offensive line or what? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. I don't know. He hasn't played very well last couple games.
No, he hasn't.
You know, and maybe Marshall's just mad because Cutler used to throw to him all the time. Now he doesn't really. You know, he spreads the ball so much now. He's throwing a lot of them to Forte actually. So
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what's kind of helping Kevin a little bit with Forte and Cutler, but apparently it helped him enough to win last week.
Yep. And
I don't know what he's going to do with that quarterback. I mean, he might as well just hold tight. I mean, Cutler's still one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
Yep. You know, Kevin should at least pick up Colt McCoy. He's supposed to start. I'm telling you, expert advice right here, guys. Expert advice. But and on the flip side, if you look Kaepernick, I mean, it was just at Denver. You know, I mean, I hate the quarterback. You know, I hate that guy. But whatever. I mean, he didn't perform as well. And if you look down, Carolina. Terry has Carolina's defense. I gave him -2 right there. Yeah, that was.
And the next question for Kevin too is, I wonder how long he's still going to keep Josh Gordon on his bench, because that guy's still out for like 4 more weeks. So I'm wondering if he plans on keeping him there, or what's he going to do? Because he didn't have much room to cut people. So I'm just wondering. I mean, he's going to have to make some moves.
You're saying he should cut somebody to pick up just a reserve QB for favorable matchups?
Maybe. I mean, maybe that's at this point, just until Cutler, plays better.
That sounds like a good expert advice to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to help him out, but he keeps keeping Josh Gordon on his bench. I guess he's afraid someone's gonna swoop him up. But come on, it's a thin bench league. I don't think anybody's gonna take him until like later on. But I guess he's just stashing him. Just in case Kevin makes the playoffs. You never know.
Yeah, he's hanging on there, but no, congrats to Terry for a close win. It's not very high scoring, but it's good enough. And like I said, let's not hold our breath and let's see what happens Thursday morning. When the stat correction comes out.
Yeah, we never know. Kevin's holding his breath. I know.
He's hoping right now.
Yeah, he can't sleep for the next 2 nights. So he's not sleeping for the next 2 nights until stat corrections come out.
All right. Yep. Let's go to the next matchup, Jeff versus Ving, and Ving, second highest score of the week.
Yeah, he lifted that jinx pretty nicely, I guess.
Our jinx isn't working for him. Hopefully he'll come back. Des Bryant blew up for him.
Well, you know what happened is because we didn't podcast last week.
That's right. Yeah. I was in Orlando.
If we would have podcasted it, I think this week would have been different because you have to maintain the jinx by podcasting, and you create that jinx, and then you build up on that jinx. And then last week we didn't have a podcast. It kind of lifted the jinx for 1 week. So because when Sin got jinxed, we kept every week we kept saying, oh, Sin's the team, and and that's what happens. I think that's what happened. We should have
we had to keep
we
going.
should have did a 2-minute podcast just to jinx him, basically.
yeah.
We should have just came on for 2 minutes and said he has the best team ever, and then just hang up, and that's it. That was the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, Ving has if you look at his team, Mark Bradshaw was supposed to score that much, really.
Man, the guy's, I don't know, that guy's Luck just loves him out of the backfield, man. It's crazy. That guy's scoring so many touchdowns. I don't even,
rushing
it's hard to even explain. I can't even explain that as a running back, getting that many receiving touchdowns, but nobody seems to cover the guy. And, when he pops out of the back, like there's no linebacker that will cover the guy, apparently. Apparently he's open, like, every single time.
Yeah, Indy loves to throw now this year.
Yeah.
And on Jeff's side, man, Spiller is out now. Oh, man.
That hurts.
Dude, his running back is decimated. Ryan Matthews. Of course, Jeff had Peterson. He had Peterson. But, man, Jeff is hurting with running backs, man.
Yeah, and amazingly, he's 3-4 in the league. You would think with all those injuries and...
if you recall, he was 3-0.
Oh, that's right. I guess that's it. So, is he the one? Well, he hasn't lost 4 in a row, though, right?
Oh, has he? I thought it was him and... Oh, no, it's Sin and... Is it Sin and Scott?
Yeah, Sin and Scott. Yeah, Sin and Scott.
Okay.
So, Jeff hasn't lost 4 in a row, but, he's... Yeah, like I said, it's... he's got a lot of injury. I don't know. At this point, I don't even know what you do because, at least he cut Peterson by now. And then...
And Jeff put up good numbers. He would have beat... he would have beat... Terry, he would have beat Terry this past week. Terry is 6-1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Matchups got Jeff this time. Jeff did put up good numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just bad matchup for Jeff. He went up against the best fantasy football team ever.
Yeah.
In Ving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like they're like 1A and 1B, right? Him and
Wang.
Him and Wang.
Him and Wang.
1B, so.
Yeah, yeah, and then we'll let them decide who's A and B.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I don't know which one's which, but it's fairly even, when you're 1A, 1B. So.
Yeah.
It's a timeshare,
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's go to the next matchup. Danny versus Chris. Oh man, this is a really low scoring game right here.
Yeah.
75 to 69.
Why can't I play one of them? Man, I get to play Slim. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
My points would have beat, I scored decent points, and I'm like, man, that was the dream matchup of the lowest score. I wish I could do that.
Yeah. Chris left Stills on the bench, blew up from on the bench there, man.
Yeah, I think because we made fun of it, so at least he didn't cut him. He just kind of kept him. We made fun of him.
That's right, we did make fun of him. No.
Oh yeah, we made fun of
Dang,
we made fun of Steele, so
See, we gotta be responsible. No, we gotta be more careful about what we say today because our words have, our words affect these owners. These fantasy owners. We gotta be careful about that.
Oh yeah, they were definitely if they don't cut him, they're at least just kind of sit him. They're like, man, I'm gonna get laughed at if I play this guy.
These fantasy expert advice, But yeah, Danny won with 75 points. Fred Jackson is out for him. Jeez.
Yeah, running backs they're getting thin. I don't even know what kind of advice to kind of give at this point. I guess we'd have some advice later on, but
definitely. There's like you say, injuries happen. You gotta get those waiver wires. Jeff has one shot at that waiver wire right now with the number 1 slot. So
you gotta go out and do it.
He better make it. He better make it count. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we'll give that advice at the end of this podcast here. But Chris, man, I'm always rooting for you, Chris. But you gotta score more points, dude.
I know he does, and a word of advice right now, Chris. I know Ray Rice is appealing, but I probably wouldn't make him your first option at running back. Just so you know, that's probably. They were saying he's going to reinstate it, but I don't make him your first option. That's
Yeah,
my advice.
I don't. You think this year? I don't think this year. I don't think any team will touch him. I don't think any team will touch him this year.
I think depending. I don't know if they'll play him, but I think a lot of teams may still at this point because I think if they let it go on further, I think if they claim him now, they can at least get a crack at him and hold him at least for next year. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if they'll play him, but it's just one of those things. If they grab him now and claim him, they can hold him out for next year and see how he does.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's like it's open to anybody at that point if they just kind of let him ride out, and So I think everybody in a way they're afraid to claim him, but at the same time he's still a decent talent at running back.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's had a year off, so he's going to be
he's gonna be fresh. Fresh leg.
Yeah, he's gonna be fresh basically.
Yeah, I mean, look at Aaron Foster.
Yeah.
He had half a year off, and now he's doing really well. 100-yard game, receiving well. So fresh leg. Well, Doug Martin is the exception to that because he had a year off last year, and he's doing diddly squat for me.
Yeah, it totally is the exception.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go to the next matchup. Jim versus you. Dude. Jim, wow, he put up 119, third highest of the week.
Yeah, I mean,
Ron Hillman, huh?
Hillman. Yeah, I mean, who would have dug it? I mean, I guess I could have played it, but if I don't know where I would have plugged him in, at this point, because I probably would have started Foster for sure, and then I guess it's a toss-up between Morris and Lacey, and if I would have played him with where Lacey was at, I wouldn't have beat Jim.
Yeah.
But I guess if I would have played him where Morris was at, it would have been pretty damn close. I probably would have beat him with that, barely.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, it's still. I mean, I would have been lucky to try to start him and play him.
And then and then Beckham Jr. blew up for Jim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who saw that coming? You know what I mean? With Cruz out, you would think it'd be Randall, but
yeah. Well, and you know what? Beckham didn't. If you think about it, Beckham probably wouldn't have gotten anything. He got 2 touchdowns, but really, without the 2 touchdowns, the guy basically only had 2 receptions for like 20 yards. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he basically almost was shut down throughout the game until, the 2 touchdowns. So, I still think Randall's the guy there in New York just because he gets all the targets. I mean, Beckham, he's still a rookie. So
yeah, and I think Foles hurt you by being on the bench too. By having a bye.
Being on bye, yeah.
Being on bye.
He hurt me on being on bye.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad because Palmer didn't do bad. I mean, I said,
he did all right.
I can't complain about that. It's just, his team did well, and I tried to match his DeMarco Murray with Foster. I was hoping Murray would have like a down game or something, but God, the guy's he's just unbelievable right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And
then, of course, the other one was Roddy White. I mean, come on, Julio was blowing up totally the year, and Roddy White hasn't done anything until this game.
Yeah.
Like Roddy White's been shut down until this game, because Julio Jones was being like double teamed and by Baltimore, and I think he had their top corner. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the way it went. White and Beckham I think were the 2 big ones. I mean, because you kind of expect Murray, to be up there, but not really White and Beckham.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that's 11 plus 10. That's 21 points over the projection. So that pretty much was my game. That was it.
Yeah. And, I mean, Jim even has Wells Walker on the bench who did pretty good, too. I mean, geez, Kirk Cousins, I think Jim will drop him.
For Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy. You hear here first, dude. Colt McCoy, get him. He's the real deal. If you watch him play at Texas, he's the real deal.
Hey, yeah, and you know what? Don can go pick up Geno Smith now because they've got Percy Harvin. So just, let Don do that.
Oh, don't tempt him. You know how he... Well, he claims that he picked up Geno Smith because Russell Wilson was on bye. So, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he was just randomly picking up a QB,
Yeah. He was better off playing Wilson while he was on bye.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Don, let's go to the next matchup, Knoxville versus Daddy Zander. Don versus my brother here. Don didn't put up much of a fight there. 83 points. What the heck happened to his tight end? Got 0.
Well, and all he had was really.
Graham, what? Wait. Is Don active? Does Don not know Graham's out?
No, Graham played. Graham played that game.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah, he played that game. He actually he warmed up. He played, but he wasn't. He didn't do much. I think it was almost like the whole Calvin Johnson decoy thing they were saying. Like he was just out there, but he was. You could tell he wasn't full speed, full strength, and like Detroit just almost like stopped covering the guy, like because they realized like this guy's just being decoy almost, and so they didn't. He only had like 2 targets the whole game, like. So I mean, it wasn't even. Yeah, I wouldn't have played Graham. Just the fact that you could tell he wasn't going to have a full workload anyway.
I mean, is Don that desperate to flex a tight end? I mean, he could have flexed. I'm looking at his bench right now.
Yeah, I don't know who else. Well, you know what hurt him is that Harvin trade, because I bet you he would have had Harvin in there, against St. Louis. And think about it, if Harvin was there, you kind of wonder if he would have gotten all those targets with Baldwin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wow, because St. Louis has no secondary, and so you would have thought Harvin would have blown up this weekend against St. Louis, but then he got traded. So that's why I'm like, wow. I mean, that probably would have been his play, but it kind of hurt him that Harvin got traded. So he had to kind of just makeshift something out and do something with it. So, and Alfred Blue wasn't going to help him this week anyway. So
yeah, I mean, how bad of a teammate do you have to be, or how much of a distraction do you have to be to get traded like that? I mean, it's crazy.
Especially how much they gave up to get him.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they gave up. It wasn't cheap picks that they gave up, and I mean, yeah, it must mean something. Just to. Yeah, it must have been that bad of a distraction. That's crazy.
Supposedly I read like he picked a fight with Russell Wilson and other players too. Like I'm like, dude,
wow,
you crazy?
Well, I think once you pick a fight with your franchise quarterback, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You kind of have to. You kind of get rid of the guy. You hear about the tire? I guess Lynch got all upset about the trade. You hear about that?
Yeah. Well, I hear some of the players are voicing their shock and whatever, but no, I haven't heard what Lynch did.
Marshawn Lynch was like all upset. They said he got all pissed off and he didn't want to get on the team bus. I guess like he was refusing to get on the team bus to travel to St. Louis, and I guess he was throwing a huge fit when he found out about the trade. But yeah, so he played. Lynch played.
Yeah, barely. Yeah, not well, but yeah.
Yeah, he was still upset about the trade.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It's a business, and yeah, it sounded like Percy Harvin was just not a good teammate and was a big distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, for Don, the 2-0 just hurt him. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Russell Wilson blew up. Russell Wilson was, man, that guy was unbelievable on Sunday.
Yeah, with 300-yard passing, 100-yard rushing, jeez.
Yeah. I think the guy can do that almost every game, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and they lost to St. Louis, but my Sog won. Put up good, decent numbers there. But great. All right, let's go to the other best team in all of Fantasy Football League, Hong versus Scott. And man, boy, what is that? 51 points, 50-point difference. Jeez.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Scotty too, because he actually put up a decent amount of points, 90 points, but
he did.
I mean, Hong just he crushed it. I mean, Demaryius Thomas, Randall Cobb. I mean, the guy's Ellington. I mean, his team's pretty much unstoppable right now. I mean, I don't see anybody even trying to stop this guy. The guy's his bench even blew up, right? I mean, in his bench, anybody on his bench, he probably could have plugged in for anywhere.
Jeez,
he would have still beat Scotty by 50 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hong's team looked unbeatable, dude, all the way to the championship.
Yeah, I mean
look at Scott. Zach Stacy 0. I mean, I don't know. I didn't. Was Zach Stacy doing that bad for all of a sudden he's now second or third string even? Jeez.
Well, and I think some people are attributing it to like injury, but he must have been. I don't know. I didn't think he was that bad, but apparently maybe they're not disclosing his injuries that much. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, his yards per carry, I guess, is down, but it's about the same what it was last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't tell. It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
put a finger on it, but
Now Trey Mason, I had my eye on him for a while because I watched him play at Auburn, and that guy was a stud at Auburn. I thought he was going to be a first round draft pick. But he was a stud at Auburn. So I think they're playing him more now. Trey Mason, but it looks like it's a running back by committee. Benny Cunningham and Trey Mason now, and Zach Stacy is just left out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we'll kind of see because because people were saying too that they thought maybe they're holding Stacy back because of the injury, but I don't know. He was on the sideline. He was suited up, so it's kind of hard to say. But Cunningham's always going to be there because he's their change of pace. I know they said Mason he's not a good pass catching running back, so Cunningham, no matter what's going to be in the mix anyway. But it's just going to be between Stacy and Mason. But apparently Mason, they felt enough where they need to activate him, and he played well last week, and then he played well this week again.
Yep. That might be something. Keep an eye out for, Jeff. If you're gonna pick up a running back, maybe that's one of the choices.
Team's hurting at running back too.
Yeah.
He really has no running back actually.
Yep. And Golden Tate blew up for Scott, which I think Golden Tate will be pretty important player now with Calvin Johnson out there too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's not a bad 1-2 combo with Tate and Johnson. Now I think if they both play,
yeah,
that's not bad actually, receiving wise.
Yep. Now, if Scott, if you want a running back, I'll trade Doug Martin for Calvin Johnson. Let me know. Let me know.
He might be desperate. I mean, I don't think he has a running back for next week that he can play. I mean, I guess if Sproles comes back, but I don't even know if he's going to be back next week. So maybe he'll be desperate and give you something like that for next week.
Yeah. But that's Wang's been putting up a lot of points, every weekend so far. So, like I said, Tay, what do you think? You think he can win it all?
Oh man, yeah, definitely. If not win it all, he could definitely tie.
Yes.
For first place. You know what I mean? I mean, he definitely could tie in the championship, if not win it all. So 1A, 1B. Remember that.
That's
1A,
right.
1B. Totally see it.
That's right.
That's in his future.
Let's go to come on. Let's break out our expert advice here today. What should somebody like Jeff pick up? Who should he be out there looking for?
I don't know. It's probably the top. For me, I think the top running back that's out there. I think it's based on schedule, based on everything else. It's kind of hard to say. The thing is, it's weird because there's two running backs. One of them has that flexibility, I guess, with wide receiver, and that's Denard Robinson in Jacksonville. The only thing is, that offense, I don't know. They're still one of the worst pass blocking offensive lines in the league. So, I didn't really watch the game. I don't think they aired Jacksonville out here in the West Coast, but it's hard to say how he created the holes or how he was able, because that team the whole year hasn't been running really well. So I don't know how Robinson was able to find holes. I don't know if he created them himself because he's a shiftier guy. He's kind of smaller. So he's out there, but I just like him, just the fact that you can play him at wide receiver, which is really nice. For those that, want a running back / wide receiver and they just want to plug in a running back to their wide receiver spot. That's a nice little thing that he does, that they had him at. Because I think at the beginning of the year Yahoo had him as a wide receiver, and they converted him to a running back this year. But I think the top guy this year, this week, is probably going to be, to me, in my eyes, I think it's Bryce Brown, just because of the Buffalo, depleted backfield. And Bryce Brown is still, I remember when he came in for LaShawn McCoy last year, and, man, that guy was amazingly good.
Mm-hmm.
Besides fumbling.
That's what I was going to say. Fumbling, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, everything I've read about the guy and everything, number one prospect out of high school and everything. I mean, the guy's a super good athlete, can catch the ball. He does everything, basically. And the only thing does do too much is he fumbles the ball, So, but I think honestly he, based on the schedule and everything too, I think Brown might be your guy too. Just that he the only run defense he's got bad is the Jets, and then after that I think he's on bye the week after that, but so he's got Jets and bye. So the next 2 weeks is bad, but then after that, not horrible. So I think I like Bryce Brown, just the fact that he's talented and there's no Buffalo running back. There's no committee there. I mean, Jackson's out for a while. Spiller's out for the year, so all he really has is just Brown and Dixon. And Dixon's been in the league long enough that that's why they haven't made him a top running back this year. Anybody has, you know what I mean? So I can see Bryce Brown actually taking control of that backfield.
Yeah.
Just because I think Dixon's only on the squad too, like they were saying, is he's a special teamer. He's not really starting material. I mean, that's the only reason why he's third string running back, because he does so well on special teams. So they already had Spiller and Jackson every week that they suited up, and Dixon was their third string just because he played special teams. So my top pick, Bryce Brown.
Okay, so there you go, Jeff. You have a few running backs out there. You have Denard Robinson, Bryce Brown, Trey Mason, and people who need a QB. Look, Ryan Tannehill is still out there. He's been putting 20 points his last 3 games. He's been putting over 20 points. So teams that need a quarterback, Ryan Tannehill is out there, and like I said, Colt McCoy still out there, boy. That guy, he's gonna light it up. You know what I mean?
He plays Dallas next year. He's going back to Texas.
Yeah. Charlie Whitehurst, he's starting for Tennessee. He's been putting up mid-teen points, consistently. But I am still high on Austin Davis, the St. Louis QB. He's good. He's athletic. I'll tell you that, and he can really scramble. Watch him play.
They were doing a lot of comparisons to him, I guess, to like other big name quarterbacks in the past too. And he's done decent still. I mean, he didn't put up the yardage last week, but he didn't have to. I guess
that's what I was saying. They were up. They didn't need him to throw. You know what I mean? It's not like Denver, where like Denver was up, but they still kept throwing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Manning was really trying to destroy that record or something in one game.
It's crazy. And then to hear about that keep away game they played after that touchdown, right? To hear that that they practiced that on Friday, I'm like, really? You gotta really say, hey, look, if I break the record, let's do this keep away game. I was like, wow, I mean, I would figure Manning wouldn't even talk about that stuff like that. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to jinx himself, or he shouldn't be practicing a celebration before then. No, but I'm a huge fan of Peyton Manning. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not hating on him, at all. But I'm just saying that was very surprising,
Yeah.
But awesome. Missed the podcast this last week, because I was in Orlando working. Trust me, I was working. It wasn't fun at all. Well, no, it was a little bit fun, dude. It was a little bit fun.
Yeah, you're trying to get your tan on.
No, it got rained out. We were supposed to have a pool party on Wednesday night, but it got rained out, and so we had so at the very last minute, our company rented huge bounce houses that we put into the convention room. So it was pretty, dude. It was cool. So then we had a like a pool party luau kind of thing inside the conference room. So it's pretty cool. You'll see that in the video, Tay. That I sent you.
I'll have to check it out there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But all right, no, it feels good to be back doing this podcasting. People, take our advice. We like the beginning intro video says, expert advice.
Yeah, definitely.
Make sure you listen to it. We have the two best.
Ever wrong.
Yeah, we have the two best fantasy teams in here. We're Hong and Ving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's either listen to us or you can call them for advice. I mean,
because they're the best. Yeah, I mean, but
they're the best.
But they don't, but they have no way of communicating that. You know what I mean, to anybody. But all right, great. It was good to get back in this podcast, Tay. Thank you Thank you very much, Tay. For Tay, I'm Sam, and good luck, everybody. Hit those waiver wires, and we'll see you next week.